RNW. You're listening live. You're now listening to RNW. Women's Radio Network.
This is Dr. Joyce Buckner, reminding you to listen to Keeping It Real with Casey Armstrong, weekdays at 1 o'clock, only on WRNW1.com.
Women's Radio Network, empowering women of today to become tomorrow's superstars. Women's Radio Network, empowering women of today to become tomorrow's superstars.
Welcome back, everyone, to Open Forum on Women's Radio Network. I am your host, Sonia Williams, and it's my pleasure to welcome to our show today naturopath at Peace Valley Holistic Center, Christina Davis. Christina, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Christina. Yes, definitely. So I see it's a natural health and wellness center, and it's a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes, it's a charity because there's so many nonprofits, but not very few charities. We exist on donations and fundraisers.
Okay. And now tell us a little bit about it. It's primarily Peace Valley Holistic Center. That's the only one you're working with, correct?
That's right, but we're looking for an expansion. We work with children anywhere from the ages of 3 years old to 15, primarily, and their families with all the spectrum of autism as a priority. But we also work with children that have cancer and other degenerative diseases.
Okay, and Christina, what inspired you to get involved in this organization?
Well, actually, I was inspired early on when I was researching the aging problem and trying to find out why people that age can live to 104 and some die so young. And that was because my father was born with heart in the arteries and so was his whole family. And I inherited that also. And we weren't absorbing our nutrients properly. So I was inspired at the age of 15. And went every which way until I actually saw what autism was. We didn't understand it at the time.
Okay, and you were diagnosed. You're not diagnosed with autism, correct? So
no,
is there any...
no, I'm not. Yeah, but there was one child that was born in my family that was born. The mother actually had her appendix burst, so he was born prematurely. And he did have autism, severe autism, and this was 14 years ago. And that's why I decided to put my clinic and open up primarily with a focus on autism. At that time, there was 1 in 1,500 children. Now it's 1 in 52.
Wow, wow. Yeah, okay, so now we educate the family in coping skills, stress management, neurologistic programming, audio therapy, I guess that's what that is, color light therapy, and natural food diets.
That's correct. And it's a combination therapy. The protocol, it took years to evolve. I had a center called the Golden Wellness Center for 20 years prior to this, and I funded my own research on it because there was no funding to be had for this. And so everything that I have went into it. And this has been a joy because children that are nonverbal are speaking, and it is a combination of speaking into a computer program that analyzes your voice and your DNA, seeing what is missing, and then using the light therapy for the prefrontal cortex to balance out, along with audio therapy, which helps in memory retention. And between the two, and understanding what nutrients they particularly need that are missing, We actually play the donations they need and give them the light therapy along with a list of things so that when they leave our center, which would, that therapy lasts for 3 days, but if they eat the proper food, the brain starts to heal on its own. And we've proven that with our measured outcomes time and time again.
Now, Christina, do you have a doctoral degree?
Yes, I do, and that's in naturopathic medicine, but it also is in research for naturopathic medicine. And I've had to study every year to find that because at the time that I was doing this wasn't even a thought. So, unfortunately, this country didn't promote it, and it's just beginning to in the last 20 years.
It's so funny that we're talking about this. I interviewed the first, the lady who actually introduced naturopathic medicine. I interviewed her last week, and yeah, and we were just talking about naturopathic medicine, which she's saying is the medicine of 2050, and she strongly believes in it. And she actually emailed me some local doctors that are naturopathic MDs. So, okay, now...
there's a lot of them, but my father was really the pioneer because he was told he would die before he was 40. And, of course, he didn't get his degree, but he certainly studied. And I think that without him, I probably wouldn't have gone this way. I probably would have just stayed in medicine as it was.
Now, when you're saying light therapy, what exactly is that? And how did you figure that out? Like, how did you, I guess, figure out that would help in solving these problems?
Well, I've noticed that when children were out in the sun, that they had the energy, but the energy was scattered energy. And I also noticed that using the sun rays in the morning, they were energized differently than in the afternoon or the sunset. So I start analyzing the rays according to their frequencies, which color light therapy is not new. It is, Mitchell actually started it, and then Edwin Babbitt, there are many books on it for vibrational healing. And that it would be true for insomnia. I mean, it's very dry. And then I started studying the color combinations from the frequencies of the sound connected to the light vibrations, which were similar in hertz frequencies. And I noticed that if you had 25,000 lux in one piece of equipment with the different lenses, that I could assimilate sunrise, the noon sun, and sunset. And between the different 4 frequencies, you can balance the brain and help the memory retention and the focus. And when I first started this, I started with my own cousin, who was born with a problem, and I noticed that, and he was nonverbal, and I noticed his attention span, because he was severely autistic, then he went to what they call ADHD, and then he was Asperger's, which is high-functioning autism. I noticed that as he started to heal, that it was because of the light frequency in connection with the sound that was reprogrammed, along with the correct diet for him, and the nutrients would show up as needed on a daily basis. Today, he not only sings and plays the guitar and is graduating, but this is a young man that he has tactile dysfunction. He can play football. I mean, it's amazing. So, I had a trial before. I know. And this is different.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. It's different than any naturopathic doctor out there. And this protocol right now, along with the light therapy, is being patented. And I'm hoping to get this in the school system.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we have a school system here that's very open to it. There's 53%. It goes from 49 to 53% children with special needs. And they're very open to it.
I'm sorry, it goes, what's the percentage?
The percentage for this one particular school is anywhere between 49 and 53%, and depending on enrollment. And the enrollment comes from 5 different feeder schools. And they're very interested in having this program there.
Of autistic children.
For autistic children, the spectrum goes from dyslexia all the way to severe autism, which is called childhood schizophrenia. The spectrum is huge. The highest functioning is Asperger's. Now, I know there's so much out there to learn.
The highest
it's a never-ending.
The highest functioning.
Asperger's. Asperger's.
What is that?
Asperger's is a form of autism that it's when you're brilliant, say like Einstein had it. It's when they're brilliant minds, but you're not functioning as high as you can because you're pulled back, because your mind is racing forward.